What is up, everybody? Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is when you are watching this video. Hope everybody is doing excellent. Enjoying Risk of Rain 2 if you are playing this, which I'm assuming you are playing if you are watching this video for whatever reason. If you are not playing and you're watching this video because you just kind of want to see what it's about and were interested or whatnot, again, I do recommend this game wholeheartedly for $20. It is well worth the investment. I have gotten well worth of $20 worth of enjoyment out of this game already. This video, if you couldn't already tell by the title or by the character I'm playing, is a review of the engineer in this game. The engineer, I would say, is the strongest individual class in this game without any kind of exploitation. And the reason why I say without any kind of exploitation is there is currently an exploit, or I can't imagine it's by design, but with the Oculus HUD, which is the equipment that gives you 100% critical strike, when you activate that and you play on multi or the commando and just hold down your left click, the effect does not wear off. So you're able to kind of just have 100% crit if you have a Primal Instinct or anything that heals off the crits with a Scythe. You just kind of become unkillable essentially. I would assume that that's exploitation and not by design, an exploit and not by design. If it is by design, then okay. But if it isn't, the engineer is by far the strongest individual character in the game. Now, I might get some hate for this comment. There might be some people that are upset by this comment and are just completely disagree, which is fine. You can disagree all you want, it's okay. But the engineer is not great in anything over, I would say, 2 players. The reason being is he, as far as being, you know, one of the strongest, if not the strongest character in this game, he is extremely gear dependent. For those of you that played World of Warcraft back in the day, and the ninja looters, and the, you know, everybody kind of made the joke about the hunter wanting everything. The engineer is the hunter of Risk of Rain 2, 100%. Any item in this game is pretty useful to him. He will just take anything. It's good for him. The reason being his passive ability, and we'll get into the abilities right now. His passive ability is any items that he has, the effects of those items will be passed on to his turrets. So if you have 10, you know, attack speed syringes, the soldier syringes, your turrets will have 10 of those. Any of your red items, as you can see, this one I have is when you heal, and I forget the name of it. When you heal, you send out skulls that seek out and attack enemies. Now I have the fungus as well, so my turrets are always healing. It's a very, very powerful passive ability. With that being said, you want every single item that you can get your hands on. There's not an item in this game that you don't want. War Banner, which just popped right there that you saw, is probably one of the ones that you don't necessarily need. You're okay if you don't have them, because Warband does not pop off of your turrets. So it's okay, it's good, especially if you get a really good warband placement. If you place your turrets inside of the war banner, they will get the effects of the war banner, so the increased damage and the increased attack speed, which is obviously extremely useful, especially if you start stacking the right stuff. Now, his left click is a grenade launcher. The longer you hold it down, the more grenades you'll shoot, and it holds up to 8, I believe. It's 6 or 8, and they do pretty good damage. A lot of splash damage, so if you can round everything up, they're pretty sweet. A cube is pretty awesome on this guy. If you're playing with a friend and he has a cube and just lures him in, the amount of AoE is insane. His right click is landmines. He comes base with 10 landmines. They're usually on a 3 to 4 second cooldown. If you have any cooldown reduction, obviously they go down. Bandolier, obviously you'll get 1 charge for. That being said, with him having 10 charges in the landmines, one of the more, not, you know, less useful items in this game is backup magazines for him. He's one of the only classes in this game that I would say doesn't exactly benefit from backup magazines as of the time of this video. Obviously the game is still going to release a lot more characters, not a lot more, but at least 4 more that we know of. So there may be another character that comes out where backup mags are not very good as well, but as it stands right now, backup magazines, not necessarily the greatest items you can have on this guy. Now, some of the awesome items that you want on this guy: sticky grenades, you want stun grenades, fungals, your crit chance, your damage over time, so your tri-tip dagger, your armor piercing rounds, your soldier syringes. I mean, there's a lot of a lot of items that are good. Any movement speed items obviously are great for the engineer himself. they don't do anything for your turret, but they are important for survivability, especially in late game. Shields are sweet as well. Everything, all of the red items are essentially really good for them as well. Even the rejuvenation racks and all that stuff are great for him. His shift is what I call the Winston Shield. Every time I zone into these portals, the recording drops frames, and I'm not entirely sure why that happens. So it doesn't happen on my end of the game. It just happens when I zone into the portals. Very strange. Could just be an optimization thing, I'm not sure. But this area in particular always seems to be laggy in the recordings or during the live streams, but it's seamless gameplay for me when I'm playing, so I'm not entirely sure what that issue is or if there's anything I can fix with that, but I will be looking into that as well. Now, his shift is what I call a Winston Shield, because if you played Overwatch, it's pretty much what it is. Now, an important factor about this shield that a lot of people need to realize is you cannot shoot through the shield. You can shoot out of the shield, and I guess essentially yes, you can shoot through them, but you can shoot out of the shield when you're inside the shield. If you're outside of the shield trying to shoot through the shield, hit something on the other side, your stuff will bounce off it. This includes your turret. If your turret's trying to hit something on the other side of the shield, but he's not inside the shield, the round is not going to go through. So it is important. Your placement with your shift is important. Dropping it down and having your turrets inside of it is very important in order to keep your DPS going and avoid any delays. Now, his ult is his turrets. I mentioned the turrets a little bit earlier. His ultimate being his R ability is his turrets. That is your bread and butter. Your turrets are going to be your main source of damage. Your turrets are going to be your main source of utility, tanking, especially when you're playing solo. The reason why this character is so good in solo, besides the fact that you get all the loot that you want, is you have your turrets that can tank some damage for you, especially if they have some of these defensive abilities, some of these really important defensive abilities. Your turrets can tank the damage for you. You can kind of spot them and run away. Now, they do kind of come with a long cooldown, so any kind of cooldown reduction is extremely helpful for this guy. Scary Mask, that's one of the better red items you can get, because you can drop turrets, drop a shield on them. They can tank for quite a bit, especially if you have a few of those fungus on them. At this point in this video, I have one fungus, but at the end of this run, which ended up being about an 80-minute run, and I do have to remove my tag in the upper right. I keep forgetting to do that, and I do apologize. It was about 80 minutes or 88 minutes on normal difficulty. I've tried Monsoon. It's fun. That's something I want to do with friends, though. Doing solo Monsoon is not fun at all. Playing on Drizzle difficulty is a blast. By the way, if anybody was curious about that, the rounds go slower, or I'm sorry, the difficulty progresses slower, but it is so fun. Drizzle is a ton of fun. You just get a bunch of items, get super OP. My friend and I actually hit round 20 last night. With the Drizzle difficulty, but we want to hit 20 with the Drizzle, 20 with the normal, and then 20 on the Monsoon. So we're working towards normal right now. We are still learning the game. Now, this character, his strengths are his damage through his turrets, the ability to be extremely powerful and deal AoE damage. His downfall is sometimes the turret doesn't hit what you want it to hit, and that's just kind of the name of the game. When a boss spawns, if there's too many adds, the turret can have a tendency to kind of attack what's closer to it and not exactly what you want it to hit at that moment in time. Another downfall is, again, he's not great in team play because he's hungry. You need to feed him. You need to feed him all the items. He wants all of the items. There's really nothing that you can get that's bad. Now, some of the mage items, the blue items, I forget what the blue orb items, I got a shaped glass on him. Shaped glass was good. It was very good. Your turrets get the damage off that, but they also take the half health as well. It's something that I need to play around with more. I couldn't tell if it was worth it. I kind of liked the survivability a little more than the utility of doing more damage, because they ended up dying in just a few hits. I think the shaped glass is excellent in group play with this character, but if you're running solo, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, because you kind of want your turrets to be alive and just kind of be the tanks while you run around, drop grenades, drop landmines, use your Q, and do all that stuff. Now, that being said, this character quickly progressed to being one of my favorite characters in the game. At a time, it was the mage, and played the mage a little bit more, didn't really like the downtime, and at first I didn't really like the engineer too much. I was playing with 3 other friends. We were playing a full lobby. I wasn't really getting fed too much. Played a solo game, and I was like, this is what I want to be doing on this game. Engineer quickly became my second favorite behind the mercenary. Mercenary, I just love the kit, and we'll do a mercenary video later as well. But the engineer is versatile, strong, has a good amount of health, does a obscene amount of damage, especially if you can get the right sequence of items. If you had any questions or concerns about the game in general, the engineer in general, please be advised that, I am learning, just like everybody else. We're all learning, so I would like this to be more of a support thing and not a flaming each other thing. I don't want to hear like, oh, you're an idiot, that's not the way you're supposed to build this, those, the items that you mentioned are no good. I'm still learning. I'm still learning what's good, what isn't good. I'm still learning what the potential of each of these characters is, and I am so excited to see what new items we get, to see what new survivors we get. And just so you guys know, the round 20 spoiler alert, if you guys want to know what the round 20 survival item is. I think here in this game I was getting my coffee and ended up, I was like, oh wait, hold on, I'm dying. The round 20 item is an item where you will get the I'm trying to think. It gives you a random roll, like you get 2 rolls instead of 1 for any random event, any random occurrence in the game, and then the second roll that it gives you the better of the 2. So it's a pretty sweet item. I definitely recommend getting it. But if you guys had any questions, comments, any concerns or questions, I said questions twice there, please go ahead and put them in the comment section. Please hit that subscribe button. It helps a ton. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.